Pretty nice. Just where the grill goes. This door's also quite nice. Other than a little Chesney thing that's in it there, but that just rub off. It's the front bit. It's pretty good actually. That's the roof. Again, I'm not a professional. I just know what I know because I've got painters in a unit of mine. A pea size to a golf ball size, so a golf ball of that to a pea size of this. I would just go a bit more to be on the safe side, to be honest. At the end of the day, it's better to be hard than it is not hard.
Hey, that was weird.
Good morning. Welcome back to another video on the lovely Massey. What are we doing today? Gonna get the cab painted. So I've DA'd some of the roof, some of the doors. I've had to put a skim of filler in here. There's just a little dent there. So I've just got to DA all of this off, take the bonnet back off, so I can paint this bit down in there and not risk damaging the paint I've already done, because that is nice. Yeah, DA will blow all of that off up there. DA the doors off, all of this, get all that surface rust off. So I've got to do that, and then we will mix up some paint and get some paint on there, which then leaves the wheels, the front axle I'm going to paint, the four-loader, which is a bit controversial. One person said paint it red, but I think it might be a bit much. Got the wings to paint, and then that'll be about that done. So anyway, I am going to get to DA the rest of this door off first. This is probably the worst part of doing the whole thing, is just constant sanding. Gets quite boring. Oh, aren't you just so jealous of the fact that I'm sanding a whole tractor? I mean, what more could you want to actually do? I mean, luckily, you don't get to see much of it, because otherwise you would have left the video 5 minutes ago, because it's the most boring thing. But anyway, it's the most important part of a paint job, is the preparation. So while I'm sanding that, you can watch me, because why not? Look, there we go, more sanding. And then everywhere you can't fit the fucking sander in, you have to do it by hand, which gets even worse. So the aim of the game is to get rid of any shiny bits. As you can see on this door, it's all quite matte compared with, say, up there where it's still shiny. Get some of these worm things out. I'm not really sure what they're from, but you just got to try and get it as smooth as you can, because of course anything will show up through whatever paint you use. So you've got to do that. Obviously take the door handle off so you can paint that bit, because that's nice. I'm going to sand down as much of this pillar and top bit as I can. Oh, that bonnet is, considering that's covered in dust, she's mint. So this is where I need to take this off so I don't damage it, because that would be a bad day. Oh look, me boring you with more sanding. Might actually just take the wing mirror off. Oh, you smart boy. It's one of those, the more you take off, the more you've got to put back on, but the better it'll be. Or the easier it'll be, should I say. So just here, it's just 2 bolts, one here, one here. This is homemade. This is actually, fun fact, a lawnmower handle, but it works. Just not adjustable, that's the only downside. Well, you've got adjustment on the mirror, but not on the bracket itself. Which I think I'll also paint them both black, to be fair. Oh, this is where you've got to be careful not to damage that bonnet, as that would not be cool. So that's the wing mirror off, which now means I can easily, or easier, sand this little pillar, which I'll do now. So just get in there, sand the edge. Me boring you with more bloody sanding. I promise you, in about half a minute, that's the majority of the sanding done. And if you want to skip to me doing some painting, just skip a bit further forward, or just carry on watching me. I promise you, it's not all that long. The only good thing is it hasn't got to be mint, it's just got to be good enough. It's not a fucking Ferrari, it's just a tractor. But I still want it to look as good as it can, so we'll do our best. Right, that's that pillar sanded, lovely. Got that top bar to do a little bit of it, but I'm not going to do it all on camera because it's going to get a bit boring. So I'm going to carry on sanding, and I'll join back up with you maybe when we take the bonnet back off. I've got to fit a new batch terminal because that's a little bit crudded. Paint these bits satin black. So I'll join back up with you once I've got a bit more progress, because I've got to block this down as well. All quite boring stuff. Just quickly, for all those people that are in farming not painting, now I wouldn't have really known this, and when I did my Defender, because I painted that, block sander, didn't know that was even a thing, but it turns out that's a thing. So it looks like one of these. It's basically just a flat sanding block, which you use to get filler flat. Really? And that even counts for like if you're doing it round a corner or something, you still do that apparently. So you can use that to sand anything basically. So you use that to block any filler, or if you high build prime something, you use this to get it as flat as you can. Now I didn't really know that. I just DA'd on mine, on my Defender. I just DA'd it. So like that, for example, going to use this, but you've got to go at a 45, so like that. You can't just go in at it like that. You've got to just go. I'll tell you what, I'll set this up. You've got to go at a nice bit of 45 action like that. To get it flat, and you can't go straight because it was zebra stripe or something. Again, I'm not a professional. I just know what I know because I've got painters in a unit of mine who are very talented, unlike me. So you just keep doing that. I'm not going to bore you with the whole thing, but basically you just do that all the time until you end up with something that feels remotely flat. And another thing, you want edges that look more like that than like that, for example, because that isn't feathered out. It normally takes a couple of coats, and if you've got a small dent, so say that was a dent, you take it wider. Don't just put a little bit of filler in there thinking that you're going to blend it out, because you won't. Much easier. Like I say, this was just a little dent about there, and yet you skim it all out and you get a much better finish, and then you end up with a bonnet that looks like this. Wonderful. Right, I'm going to do this and I'll show you once it's done. Right, done the first sand. It's pretty good, but right where the dent is, there's a little indent still. You can see it, this little bit here, and that's what I meant about spreading the filler right out. The rest of it feels pretty good, but you've got to obviously fill that up again. Little skim in there. Again, don't just skim that bit, skim further out until it all feels pretty good. Then it should be good. So I'll mix up some filler now. Right, here's my filler. It's just some, whatever you buy from Halford's filler. I'll don't have a mixy thing, so I'm just using the back of the lid. It's got all sorts of grit in it, which is lovely. And you use some hardener. Now apparently, I remember somewhere hearing that it was a pea size to a golf ball size, so a golf ball of that to a pea size of this. I would just go a bit more to be on the safe side, to be honest. At the end of the day, it's better to be hard than it is not hard.
Hey, that was weird.
Because let's face it, no one likes it not hard, really. So, like I say, I always mix up. You think you won't need the amount that you mix up, but trust me, you're better off with more than you are less. To make your life much easier. Right, so there we go. Got my filler and my hardener. Mix them two together. Now it's important to get it mixed good. So just it's easier if you've got like a little mixing tray or something, but or like an old number plate or something, a little bit of plastic. I haven't, so the back of the lid does kind of work, to be fair. It's a bit more messy. On a hot summer's day, you don't have long. Like, really don't have long. Luckily it's the evening, so I'm alright. Right, so you mix that. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. Oh yeah, you can see that just about. So there's the dent. So put skim in there first. But basically, really, you want to take it out again. Now, it was Brad that taught me that, and it's probably one of the most important things, because otherwise you're just constantly going to end up with a ripply finish because you can't get it flat. So trust me when I say go way bigger, a bit like that. And then I'll just use a little bit of degreaser to clean this bit off once I'm done. So I'm happy with that. Right, so that's the basics of doing some filler work. Obviously, like I say, I'm not a professional by any means, so take my advice lightly. However, I do have professionals here who know what they're doing, and I have learnt quite a bit from that. Now, the next issue we've got is this floor, which I'm going to have to sort out, I think. Grim. I don't really know what to do there other than weld a plate in there maybe, which I might have to do. But I'm going to carry on sanding. I'm going to get the whole cab just sanded, ready, so I can mask up the windows and get the bonnet off and sort that out. So, after saying I wasn't going to do loads to it because that isn't going to be perfect, I've decided to weld a plate in here. So that's where the hose was. Hose, plate, lovely job. So that's got to go in there. And then we're just going to weld a couple of plates in here, there, a bit further up. Skimmer filler in them, mint. Like I've got to do something there, probably just a skimmer filler maybe. Get that to sit nice. That should have a little trim, but it doesn't. But like I say, it hasn't got to be perfect. I'm just welding this in here to cover that gaping holes that are everywhere. So I'm going to weld that in now, hopefully. And you guys can go up there and watch maybe, or I'll put you over here. That might be a better view. Oh, yes. It'd help if the welder was on.
Let me tell you something, folks. You can't fix stupid.
Let's try that again, shall we? Right, that's just tacked. Now I've got to fully weld it the whole way along, hopefully. Right, so here I am welding this lovely piece of metal in there. My biggest advice is, if you're not a professional welder, just to weld patches rather than trying to weld one continuous line, because you'll burn through the thin metal. But other than that, it's worked quite well and I'm quite pleased. So, commence the welding. Right, I think we can all agree that that is pretty good. From afar, you wouldn't really know once that mat's down. I'm just going to grind that edge off to make it look a little bit more factory. You could seam seal it, I suppose, or a little skim of filler, but to be honest, where you keep going in and out, it's only going to get worn out anyway. So that is obviously a lot better than it was. So I'll just sand that, and then we'll move on to the holes in the wheel arches. Right, so that's that joint sanded, much better. I've got some new kind of etch primer, which is good because it contains a zinc coated, I don't know, it contains something which is better than normal primer. So if you're going to buy primer, just buy etch, much better. So I'm just going to prime that now. Probably quite a heavy coat inside of there. See, being warm, it'll dry pretty quick, which is nice. We'll see, the sticker does go there, so I haven't got to be too worried about it. Looking too flat on the edge there. So that's that. Much better. It's a bit rough still. I might fill those holes. I might not. We'll see. I probably shouldn't, but I might. So just remove this shit from under here. Obviously I need to give this a good hoover and everything, get all this stuff out that's rotted the floor in the first place. But that will sit like that. It should have a little trim, whether I can find one or make something, maybe I might, because I imagine that's probably, oh no, look, there we go. Well, that's half of it anyway. That's half of what it would have had. The other half might be in here somewhere, but anyway, I'm going to carry on. I'm just going to do these bits off camera. Right, it's got a fair bit later. Just filled this. It's lovely. Just going to prime it again with the etch. Just get that covered. Oh yes. Probably a little bit heavy that, but it don't matter. Just go in there as well. Not ideal, but it'll do. Can't see that much because, like I say, it's quite late. So I'm going to end it here for today, and I'll catch up with you in the morning. So here I am, about to start painting. I missed all the masking up, so you've skipped the boring part and we're going on to the painting part. Now, to say I was nervous is a bit of an understatement, because I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm not really that much of a professional. It's just wing it, don't overthink it, and just do it, which may have turned out alright in the end, to be fair, even though I was very nervous upon doing it. So really my technique is just to get a good even coverage on it. Now it's quite hard in all the kind of nooks and crannies of it, like as you can see now, you know, getting in all those little tight spaces without getting runs, without going too close, because otherwise you can get zebra striping. It's all quite a nightmare really. There's Steve walking past, and we'll see Steve again in a second, because it's his donut like usual. But anyway, on the painting side, it's best to try and get as even coats as possible, not to go too heavy, not to go too light. If you go too light, you're not going to get a decent finish. If you go too heavy, all hell's going to go wrong and you may as well start again. So there's me just doing the bottom of the door. Wonderful job, just getting even coverage. Using a fairly cheap Chinese spray gun from TikTok, which they sent me. There's Steve again, falling over a rock. This is just Steve all over. He doesn't notice anything and just makes a fool of himself, really. So here's me lumbering on here, struggling as usual. I'm just thinking about what's best here. Move the camera. Wonderful. So this is the pillars, both sides. Just spraying them. Again, you've got to get all three sides of them. Those handrails either side where the indicators are, absolute pain to paint. Never again do I want to paint something that thin and that round. There's me checking to see if I've got any paint left. Keep blasting it on there. Go around the other side. Repeat the same. Because why wouldn't you want to do that? That little tight bit down where the four loader bracket was, that was also an absolute pain. So this is me about to paint the front grille. Now as you can see, just got to get a nice even coverage. Works quite well. Bit of crud flying out of there. Now the paint I was using can go straight over rust. So that little patch, not that you see it because it's got a rubber seal, but that doesn't matter. It's like a kind of silvery sort of flake colour to this. Which makes it interesting. Oil-based paint, which is wonderful. The anti-curling airline which I brought isn't very anti-curl. Bit of a scam, really. So as you can see, I'm worried about the black bit because I've got to paint that anyway, so I didn't mask that off. But you just got to get good, even coverage. That is the technique to being able to get a decent bit of paint. And look at that for a finish. Again, moving on to the door. Lovely finish. Missed that little dent. Bit annoyed, but oh well. So this is the second coat. Now the second coat sometimes is a bit harder because you can't actually see where you've been versus where you haven't been because it's the same colour. At least when you're putting on fresh paint, one, you can see where it's completely dry and not dry, and secondly, if it's a different colour, you can see different colour. Now, another technique, which I'm not sure is the proper way to do it, but sometimes, especially with thinner paints, you can get something known as zebra striping, where you basically will see lines in the paint. Now, if you paint it one way, and then the next coat paint it the opposite way, that seems to be a good way to avoid that, or at least it worked for me. So maybe try that, but don't quote it on me because it might not work very well. And that's the painting done. Right, hopefully you can hear me. As you would have seen, I've just sprayed it, or sprayed the cab silver and the front tiny little bit silver. It's come out pretty good actually. So I've started unmasking certain bits and started putting some other bits back on. So I'll throw the door first. Wow, look at that. That's fresh, isn't it? Oh, yeah. So the paint has actually come out quite nice. It's not too bad. Pretty good. This front bit, obviously I didn't mask this off because it's going black anyway, but it's pretty nice. Just where the grill goes. This door's also quite nice, other than a little Chesney thing that's in it there, but that was just rub off. The rest of it's pretty nice. Oh yes, the roof's come out quite nice as well, if I can get up there and show you. So there's the front bit. It's pretty good actually. That's the roof. Ooh. So it's come out surprisingly better than I thought, which is nice. So anyway, I'm going to carry on doing some other stuff. I'm just painting the wing mirrors currently. Just a little bit of satin black. Another quick little technique while I'm painting that. Light, even coverages when you're using a spray can seems to work better. It's quite easy to get runs in it, and also it just dries a bit better if you don't do a full send and put loads of paint on it. Other than that, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just wing it. You don't have to. It was already black. It just smartens it up and makes it look quite fresh. And I could have painted these when I painted the other black bits, but I'm an impatient bastard, so I just painted them like that. Didn't mask up the mirror underneath. They don't sit perfectly flat, so I've probably got loads of overspray on them. But who uses mirrors anyway? Not me. There we go, that's them looking with the neighbour. Wonderful. Because I fitted that bit on the door, painted that bit, not door handle. So it's just really refitting stuff and unmasking and deciding how's best to paint these bits black. I've got the grey, the original grey. I used a whole litre of paint doing the silver. It's quite a bit actually. Right, I'm going to carry on. Right, that is this wing mirror on there, up there. That front panel is back on. I'll show you. Oh, nice. It's got a Massey Ferguson sticker to go there. The lights are back on, they just need wiring back in. That's doors back on. I'll put this window back in actually. That window's back in. So, I'll put this trim around the front. Oh, and the front grilling actually. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Should be beautiful. So what's the next plan? The next plan of attack is that I have got to mask off the silver, all of the silver, so I can do the black, because obviously I don't want to get the black on the silver. So obviously that's going black, black all through there, that's all going black. The bottom bit there is going black along with the step. The steps are going black, and then the wings are going red, and I've got some grey to do the axles and stuff. So we're getting there slowly but surely. We are making progress, ever so slowly. So in terms of this video, well, that is it done. I hope you enjoyed, because I've had a wonderful time doing it. And it's actually come out much better than I thought it was going to. Didn't think it was going to come out that good, to be fair. But I think we can all agree it's pretty good. It's very good. Obviously I've got the rest of the stuff to fit. Like door handles and bits and bobs. But on a whole, she's pretty good. So that is the end of this video with my tractor, which is looking miles better. So if you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I will see you in the next one where we're going to do the black and get it all back together. We'll basically finish it, minus the foreloader probably. That might be a separate video. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. I hope it's been somewhat of a good video, and I'll see you in the next one.